Hey you guys, just getting the camera set up. This thing actually worked tonight and went straight live instead of giving me horrible fits about having to go through YouTube Studio and stuff like it normally does. So anyway, you guys are here a lot sooner than what I expected, so it's all good. Just gonna adjust the camera. Oh, and then drop the camera. All right. All right, hopefully you guys are still there. It says you're still there, so we're just going to go with that. I am going to double check I have all ingredients, and then we'll start as soon as somebody jumps on. So I'll start doing that. We'll see what we need here. Grabbing ingredients. I'll be right back. If you're just jumping on, I'm just grabbing ingredients. I'll be right back. Forgot we needed carrots, you guys. Making a soup. People here. I'm just grabbing ingredients. I'll be right back. I'm almost done. Okay, I think I have everything. I think. We'll see. If not, I'll grab it halfway through. So, a couple of announcements really quick. The first one is, I should go grab it. Hang on. If you guys have been watching me for any sort of time and you guys know that you want to get into fermenting, and I've like kind of pushed this kit from Mason Tops. Anyway, if you get online and go to www.masontops.com that was fun, / off-grid, you guys can get 10% off of this right now. And also they have free shipping over 25 bucks. So it's actually like a super good deal. I think this kit runs around 55 without the 10% off. But it has lots of stuff in it. They send you a fermenting recipe book and a wooden kraut pounder and 4 of these fermentation weights to push down your food below the brine, and 4 of these little lids that go on. I call them burpee lids, but they go on top of your mason jar to let the air escape. So, and that's the other thing. My hands, yes, look filthy. They're not. I made sauerkraut today, purple sauerkraut, so, or red sauerkraut, whatever. So my hands are stained, so don't get freaky. I washed my hands before I started this. Anyways, that's Mason Tops. That's your deal from Mason Tops. Let's see, another deal. This is like super exciting. Like, I'm so excited about this. So I was on YouTube, surprise, okay, watching somebody else's video, and an ad popped up for, I'm so excited. I ordered one. The real deal, one of these, my original Nicer Dicer that my husband bought for me 15 years ago after we got married. So it's like not a piece of crap like these ones that break. And it was only 30 bucks. And the company is actually offering that if you pay $10 more, it's a lifetime guarantee on everything. So if anything cracks or breaks, all you have to do is email them and send them a picture that it broke, and they send you a new one for free. So anyway, I totally signed up. So that website's a little bit longer, and let me see if I can get my forward slashes correct. But if you go to deals.kittellenforward/super-slicer/, that's where you can get one, or you can call them at 1-888-401-7568 to order yours. I already ordered mine. I can't wait for my new one to be here because I'm so sick of this one that's broken. Anyway, that's the exciting news in the Nicer Dicer world. And I think, oh, another exciting thing. So, this is the first month that I've ever ordered Azure's all-purpose cleaner. I cannot say enough about this stuff. I've been cleaning like crazy today. There is no scent to it, so if you're after some pretty, foofy smell after you get done cleaning, there's none of that in here. I suppose you could add your own essential oils. But I cleaned the inside of my stove with it, and it cut through the grease so good. And there's a whole lot of no's on the cover. So no SLS, no SLES, no EDA, or EDTA, no Lawrence number 7, no phosphates, no chlorine, no ammonia, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on and on. So anyway, this whole gallon on Azure was only $10. So I've almost used half of it already. I've just been cleaning everything, which is great. My husband will be so excited. That's how I spent my day. But anyway, it's only $10, so it's not that much out of the pocketbook to go through a whole gallon in a month if you needed to. So anyway, I want to share that with you. Okay, on to the recipe, which is why all of you guys are here. I have not rinsed my wild rice yet, so I'm going to take this over to the sink and I'm going to rinse it. I suppose I could turn you and you could see all of my, they're all clean dishes, I promise. Let me grab a strainer. So I have one of these and the handle broke off, and that's okay because I'll show you in a second. It's awesome. So let me just swing you guys around. Whoop. Okay. So all I do is put that on the top and then flip it upside down. And then I'm just going to flip it back on over, add some water to rinse it. Cool. That's it. I hope that was exciting. All right. So, first thing is first. We are going to start our burner over medium-high heat. And we're going to chop an onion using my partially broken Nicer Dicer cheapo knockoff. So that should be fun. I'm going to give you the ingredient amounts for just 6 servings, but just so you know, I'm going to be doing extra chopping for my family because they love the soup, and 6 servings is not enough for 7 people when we all eat like pigs. So I'm going for the 12 serving. So I'm going to be doing 2 onions, but you only need 1 onion. So go ahead and start chopping your 1 onion. And I'm going to probably, let's see, I don't know where it's best to put you guys. I'll put you on the counter for a second, and we'll see how that goes. I feel like you're so far away then, but at least you can see everything. Okay, chopping an onion. Here we go. At least my dicer still works, even though it's a cheap, broken knockoff. You know, to be honest, there's probably like hundreds of thousands of these stuck on those cargo ships offshore. Maybe if you wait till after January, you'll be able to get one at Walmart for like $5. I don't know. It's coming from China. You might be able to make a good deal on that. And I have no guarantee that the nicer dicer that I bought's not made in China, but mine lasted like 10 years before it broke, so I'm hoping. I'm gonna wash my hands. Be right back. The onion's getting to me. I should just wear like medical gloves when I do this. All right. Oh, butter. Ha ha ha. You guys are gonna be putting in 2 tablespoons of butter into that pan for those onions. Okay. Now, second onion. This was a strong onion last time. Woo. Okay. Wash my hands again. All right. Onward. Next ingredient is garlic. You guys need 3 cloves or 2 gigantic ones, depending on the size of your clove. Ah, I can't get these cloves out. I might have to whack them. I got 3 garlic, so I'm going for a little more than that because I'm making a bigger one. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember the tip about the garlic, but if you cut off this little end here, and then take your knife sideways and just bop on it, and it kind of crushes it a little bit, then the skins come right off. So I don't have one of those fancy garlic rollers. Into the pot it goes. I don't know if you guys saw my video on fermented garlic, but there's one from like 4 years ago that's used just honey and garlic to make it, and it's something that everybody should have around for cold and flu season, and that's starting now. So it's just raw honey and garlic. I think I called it honey garlic, fermented honey garlic or something. I forget the name of the video, but it is up on the channel. For anyone that's interested, basically garlic is a really strong antiviral, antimicrobial, and it's the strongest antibiotic on the planet. So it's also a very great tonic for your lungs. And so by soaking it in the honey, if you have little kids that won't just swallow garlic clove, then they can just drink the honey. And actually, the honey sweetens the garlic clove as it sits, so they actually taste pretty darn good. And then I take the honey and I coat the, like if you're going to make a homemade pizza, the crust, it's really, really good. So, suck some of the onion out of here. So what else? Let's see. There's a new video up with fudge, Christmas fudge. So that's good. Sugar-free. Jeremiah's birthday's coming up on Monday, and so he doesn't know this yet. He doesn't watch my videos, so I can say this. He'll never find out. But I'm going to make him homemade grain-free, sugar-free brownies, and I'm going to make a sugar-free caramel to go in them. So that should be really, really good. I was going to try and do, he loves pecan pie, so I was going to try and do like sugar-free pecan pie bars, but I don't know. That just seemed like, when I looked into the ingredients, it sounded like a pain in the butt. So I'm going to do something easier, which is good. Now, while you guys are waiting for that to cook, you guys could be chopping up your celery. Mine's already pre-chopped and frozen. And you could be chopping up your carrots, because mine are already pre-chopped and frozen. I save a ton of time chopping ahead, guys. Plus I buy carrots in bulk, and then you can either chop them and freeze them or chop them and can them. So your celery is a half a cup for 6 people, and half a cup carrots. So that's not very much. What, 1 carrot or 2 carrots and a couple of things of celery? Not too bad. Mine's already chopped. That's why I love winter, because we usually only eat soups like in the fall and winter and some part of the spring. And I can do this prep ahead of time. I've also used this for like mixed vegetables, because you could just mix this up with some green beans or something, frozen green beans. So that's another good use for this. But I diced all of it with that knockoff dicer that's going to be like $5 after the new year. Anyway, I'm really, really hoping, and of course I'll let you guys know if that new one is a good purchase or not. Sounds like a good purchase, so we'll just have to see about that one. Let's see. I think we're getting about done here. So we're just cooking it, simmering it, sauteing, whatever, in this butter until the onions are translucent. Most of you guys know what that is, but I'll show you just in case. Okay, so see how shiny they are? Whoops. And some of them kind of look like opaque, kind of almost clear, but like a cloudy clear. That's what we're going for. Now we will add broth. You guys are going to be adding 32 ounces, which is 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to be adding way more than that. So you can also add, on top of that, or after you get done adding that, 2 cups of water. This is my homemade broth. We butchered off a whole bunch of our roosters this weekend because there was way too much breeding going on. So anyway, they went into the roaster and made some delicious stock. So thank you, roosters, for your sacrifice. We actually, like, not to be too much information here because some people get offended about butchering, but all of our meat and all of our food comes from somewhere, and it's a sacrifice for somebody. So before we kill the chickens, all of us thank each bird for feeding our family. And if it had like a certain special name, you know, the kids get to say goodbye and everything. But anyway, but we just try to remember, like, even through the hardness of butchering an animal, that is a sacrifice, and make sure we thank them before we do that. So we also use all parts of the chicken. Like, the only things that get thrown to the cats, well, they get thrown to the cats. So our kidneys and lungs, I think. Everything else, hearts, everything that we eat, all of that stuff. So we totally use the bones for bone broth and all of that. So the animal was respected even in its death. And we appreciate the sacrifice that they give so that we can eat. So back to the broth. Okay, I need to add some water, but actually what I'm going to do, you guys are supposed to add 4 cups of broth and 2 cups of water. I'm going to go ahead and add some more broth because I have an abundance of broth. So I'm going to do that. It'll just be a more nourishing soup. Okay, so you guys are now going to add your carrots and celery, and I'm going to add mine over here. You guys get a half a cup of carrots and a half a cup of celery for 6 servings. Especially like around Thanksgiving, celery's on sale, you guys. You could have, and Christmas will probably be on sale too, but just keep your eyes open for that kind of stuff because you can totally scoop up a whole bunch of celery and then chop it up and freeze it. All right. Okay, I'm going to increase this to almost high heat because we're trying to kind of bring it up to a simmer/boil. We are going to go ahead and add half a teaspoon of pepper and a half a teaspoon of oregano. Some of you guys that don't know me, don't know my background. I haven't always been a cook, okay? I grew up with Hamburger Helper, and my mom was never taught how to cook from her mom. So this was all new to me too. And I've had to learn over the last really 10 years how to cook. I love food, which is great. But yeah, when you love food, you have to learn how to make it. So anyway, and for other health reasons, my daughter was gluten intolerant, so it's just one of those deals where we had to start cooking stuff from scratch. I was kind of forced into it, and then I realized it made you healthier anyway. So next ingredient is bay leaves. You guys are putting 1 in, I'm putting 2, okay? Magic. Let's see, what else? We gotta wait for that to come to a boil. You can go ahead and put in your wild rice. It's not gonna hurt anything. Go on in there. I buy my rice from Azure Standard. In a pinch, if your grocery store doesn't carry just wild rice with nothing else in it, you can go buy like those junk Uncle Ben's mixes. It's just that's not organic rice, and usually the rice in there is pearled, meaning like the bran and everything from the outside that helps your body to digest it not have an issue is actually removed. In doing that, it makes the rice more shelf stable for longer, and that's why they do it. So it cooks faster. So, okay, in with the rice. We've got chicken. We gotta do chicken. Now, if you are using chicken that's not cooked yet, go ahead and throw it in the pot. It'll cook up with the rest of it. I would chop it first, obviously, before we put it in there. Mine is the roosters. They're coming back again for the same meal. This is the meat off of our roosters, so I'm just going to take it and chop it on up and add it to the pot. If you do end up going the Uncle Ben's way or rice-a-roni, don't eat the packet of seasoning. It's tempting, but just don't do it. Whoa! I just saved that, you guys. It almost hit the floor. That would have been sad. Sad news there. For the thickener tonight, I'm going to be using cornstarch because the next step after adding all of our ingredients and bringing it to a simmer is to make the sauce, the thickener that makes it a nice, thick, rich soup that everybody craves in winter. So for chicken, you were supposed to do around 4 cups. It's 2 chicken breasts. Now, obviously, this is not the breast. It's mixed meat, you know. So I'm going to go with about 4 cups. Of course, I'm making mine bigger, so it'll be more than 4 cups on my end, but that's what you should be shooting for if you're feeding only 6 people. I plan to be putting out more videos too on how to make hot cocoa that's sugar-free and healthy. How to make, what was the other thing? Well, the caramel. Caramel will be coming out, and obviously that brownie recipe along with it, because I plan to record that as long as everything works out okay. What else? There was some other stuff too. I was also going to say that fudge recipe that I put up the other day, you could totally add peppermint oil to that. It's really good. So it'd be like a chocolate peppermint oil fudge, which kind of makes it a Christmas fudge. I need to come and see your cute spice jar setup. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have the setup yet. It's supposed to be up there. These are supposed to be on a shelf up here. But I have this, but I think you already know about this one, Sam. A pull-out one. But, yeah, I bought these cute little labels for the jars. Those are super cute. And then I went through all of my jars that I had and picked out all the, like, blue antique color ones, because I think they'll look really pretty on a shelf up here. So I have the shelves. I even have the brackets. Look at, I even have the pipe. But I'm not brave enough to put it up by myself. I might be able to be persuaded to do it while a friend's here, but I might get in trouble if I mess it up. So I don't know if I'll be brave enough to do that. But yeah, those will eventually be on my open shelving, which will be right here. Which will be nice. I'm still chopping, guys. If you're not, sorry, it's boring. Haven't lost anybody yet. There's still 3 people here watching this show, so. Let's see. Oh, I know what else I could talk about. So, I was talking on the phone with a friend today about cooking fats. Good cooking fats, right? And, basically, she was telling me about how she made a meal and she covered her vegetables in olive oil and then baked it. And I let her finish about how good it was, and then I had to ruin it for her. And I had to tell her, well, any fats that are liquid at 70 degrees are not good to be heating up. So, olive oil, avocado oil. I don't know, I can't think of any other ones, but those sort of oils, not so healthy when you warm them up. So anyway, I said, well, you could have melted some butter and coated your vegetables in that and then baked it. So anyway, but good examples of good healthy baking fats would be stuff like coconut oil, because that is a solid at room temperature. Butter is a good fat. What else? Coconut oil, tallow, lard. Lard is my favorite. I like butter too, but especially when I'm cooking with cast iron, I like lard. Okay. We're cooking. I'm almost to the bottom. Anyway, so that was kind of an eye-opener, because a lot of people, when they go to cook vegetable stir-fries or something in their oven, they use olive oil to coat it. So if you're one of those people, stop. Oh, how much rice? Okay, so wild rice. That's really cool that you can comment, Judy. Yay! Okay, so rice is, let's see, for 6, the servings for 6 is a half a cup of wild rice. But of course, once you soaked it, it'll be fermented. It'll be more than half a cup. So. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put my lid on my pot and turn it up to high so we can get it coming up to a boil a little bit faster. And then we're going to move over to the stove. I'll move the phone a little bit closer so we can make that sauce. And the idea behind the sauce, like I said, I mean, you could totally eat the soup this way. But But if you like it nice and thick, I love me good old chowder, you know. So if you like your soup thick, then we'll just go ahead and add the sauce that we're going to make. Okay. So, I was going to say, I read that seed oils aren't meant to be cooked. Yeah, seed oils. Yeah. Did I say a seed oil? Correct me if I did. I don't think so. I don't use any seed oil when I cook. I don't know. Okay. So, one thing I was going to say is something that you can add to this recipe to take it up a notch is you can add parsley, and I'm going to add that. I'm going to add, you could add 1 tablespoon of parsley if you have it. If you don't, it'll still taste good without it, but it is a good addition. The other thing that I'm going to add that also takes it up a notch is garlic powder. So, if you have it, great. If not, that's okay too. If you have it, it's a ½ tablespoon. Okay. And then salt. Salt is always good. Where did I put mine? Here it is. Okay, salt. See, you guys are going to do ½ teaspoon. I'm going to be doing a whole teaspoon over here. And I always say, taste it when it's done cooking. If it doesn't taste like it has enough flavor, try adding a little more salt. Usually that does it. Okay. Let's see, I gotta decide what pan I want to do this in. Probably that one. So, trying to think about the best way to do this. Probably move this over now that I got it all nice and hot. Okay. So, I'm going to move you guys back onto the tripod. Okay. Come over here. I've got something to show you. All right. There we are. So I'm going to be using a large saucepan, but you guys could obviously use a smaller one if you're only feeding the 6 serving amount. So I'm going to go grab some milk and I'll be right back. This is so hot. Woo. Guess I could have done it the other way around. But now I have 2 hot burners, so I guess it really doesn't matter now. Oh well, I'm just gonna fry. I think this one's still a little hot. Yeah, see, now I got 2 hot burners. All right, we'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, so in the saucepan, you're going to be taking 2 cups of milk. So, for me, it's gonna be more than that, but you guys just focus on your 2 cups, okay? Let's see. This looks kind of risky, so I'm gonna move it here. 2 cups of milk. If you can get non-homogenized, that's better than store-bought. This is raw milk. Obviously, it being raw doesn't really matter considering the fact that I'm cooking. So I'm going to cook it anyway. But if you can get non-homogenized from your store, that's really good for you. Versus the store-bought stuff. So we're going to warm that on up. I'm going to grab the cornstarch. You could use cassava flour. Or you could use sprouted flour if you have access to that. So the reason why I'm using cornstarch and or cassava to thicken things is because, this is hot, is because if you use flour, like a lot of recipes call for flour, if you do that and that flour that was ground is not properly prepared, then that's going to hit your gut in a not so nice way. And you've got phytic acid and all sorts of other things still intact on that that's coming through. And even though it's a minuscule amount Some people could still tell a difference when they eat that kind of stuff. So we're one of those crazy people that can tell a difference. And so we do cornstarch or cassava flour. I'm trying to think, like rice flour works too. Just something other than regular flour. So I gotta find my whisk. So, oh, here it is. It's clean. That was lucky. All right, so we're just gonna thicken this up. And this is just cooking away over here. I've got it on high. So we're just gonna let that cook until the vegetables get soft. And meanwhile, we're going to be thickening this cornstarch. Sorry, thickening this milk. Hello, with cornstarch. Okay, the most confusing cooking show on the planet. So we gotta let that milk get about a little warmer than room temperature, and then we'll start adding that cornstarch. This is boiling over here. It's getting warm in here. It is. What else can we do while we wait? I don't know. Let's see. Should I use non-fat, 2% or whole milk? Store-bought. Definitely whole milk. It comes out of the cow as whole milk. Man, I'm hot. I'm going to move away from the stove. You guys can see how red my face is. So it comes out of the cow as whole milk. And the fat in the milk helps your body to break down the sugar that's in the milk. So if you can do whole milk, that's great. If you can do whole milk that's non-homogenized, which there are brands in stores. I can't remember the name of some of the brands, but they sell them in grocery stores. And it just says non-homogenized on the label. Usually it's called cream on top, I think is what the label is called. But they sell it. And so if you can get your hands on that, that's the best for your body. The problem is when they milk the cow, in the olden days, you just used to be able to get it raw from the cow. And then what ended up happening was, I'm trying to figure out how to say this nicely. I don't have a filter, so here it goes. So they took the cows and decided that instead of having cows out on the grass, where God designed them to be, and rotating them on the pasture, that they would put them in these confined areas where they're standing in their own poop. And when they did that, obviously some of that dirtiness got into the milk and then it made people sick. So then they said, oh, we must pasteurize it. So in order to fix this situation, instead of putting the cows back out on the pasture and you have to have more land to make the milk, we'll just leave them in a disgusting pen that is packed to the minimum, or minimum amount of space, and we'll just cook the milk. Because then it doesn't matter what's in the milk, right? And so there's a lot of stuff in your milk, store-bought milk, that you probably don't want to know about. I'll just say it that way. If you go to www.realmilk.com, they have all the information on there about why real raw milk is best for you. And then they also talk about if you can't get raw milk, or if you're going to be cooking, you could use non-homogenized. Homogenization basically makes it so that the cream doesn't rise to the top, but in doing that, it doesn't allow the milk to separate at all. So if there were things like pus in your milk or debris of any sort, like it's all going to be together. If that makes sense. So you won't really see it. So and it's pasteurized, so you're going to drink it and not get sick, but it's still in there. So anyway, if you can find non-homogenized, that's awesome. If you can find raw, even better. If you can't get your hands on either one of those, then whole milk would be the best option out of those three. You get 3 questions, Judy. I have not added the cornstarch yet, so I'm still warming up my milk. I should test that. Hang on, we'll turn back around and see. I need a break from this hot stove. Let's see. It's about ready. So we're just gonna start, now mind you, I have double the amount, so we're just gonna start with like 1 tablespoon at a time. And that's what you should do over there too, is start with 1 tablespoon at a time. And I never add the full tablespoon all at once. Just add like half. There. I need to get get a tripod that angles my phone down, but so far the only ones that I can find are ones that hold a actual expensive camera. So, all right. So we're just gonna start with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and we're going to wait because cornstarch only goes to its full potential when this comes up to a simmer. So we're gonna wait a few more minutes. I probably will never store-bought milk again. Once you know the truth, you do better. That's all that is. That's for sure. I know that California does have raw milk on the shelves. It's just like super expensive. I think it was like 5 years ago or something. They this is boiling. You guys can see that happening back here. I'm just gonna turn it down just a little bit. I still want it to boil, but just not crazy. I think like 5 years ago, I think the price of raw milk was like $20 a gallon in California. That's a little bit high, but I could sell you moving to South Dakota, Judy, because look at this. 1 gallon is only $7. There's just too much regulation on the farmers in California when it comes to organics, so they have to pay a lot more money to make, and land's more expensive, so you have to have so much land to do grass-fed cows. So, anyway, but as you know, you can buy it there. I think there's only like 3 states left out of all 50 states that you can't buy organic milk, so hopefully that's not too loud. It's getting steamy in here. But that's one of the things that the Weston A. Price Foundation has been fighting for is the right to buy, the right to have access to raw milk. So in some of the states you are using it for a pet, but you still have access. So just get yourself a pet that needs it and go shopping. So, but I do know in California raw milk is on the shelf, which means non-homogenized should be too. So anyway, I'm going to stir the soup and see where we're at here. Other than a really, really high boil, ooh, we are throwing soup everywhere, baby. I'm going to put that lid back on so my cabinet doesn't get covered in soup. All right, let's see what this one's doing back here. Nothing yet. I'm going to turn it up to medium high heat, somewhere in the middle. You just have to be really, really careful with cornstarch because if you go too high and you walk away for just a second longer than what you should, what ends up happening is when you put cornstarch in, the bottom thickens first, and then you don't see that. The top still looks liquidy, so then when you go to whisk it around, you will feel the clumps at the bottom. And then it's too late, you've already burned your cornstarch. So anyway, I'm going to put another tablespoon in here because it is still very, 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 very liquidy. But I also have 4 cups of milk in here, you guys. You guys only have 2 if you're cooking a 6 serving amount. I only put half of the cornstarch in there because you don't want a whole bunch of clumps. So if you add too much at once and you can't get it whisked out, then you end up with a clumpy sauce, which is still edible. It's just interesting. There's my happy sourdough starter, guys. You see the bubbles? I've been loving on Frank today. That's his name, Frank. He's been getting love. Jeremiah said he wanted, I call it cheeseburger soup, which I'll probably do a video on that too this weekend. And he wants homemade sourdough dinner rolls. So the pressure's on. All right, starting to come up to heat. You guys can see on camera that the steam is coming out of the pot. Starting to get to a good temp here. Where you can start kind of gauging how much more cornstarch you're going to need. I went ahead and turned the soup down to a medium, so hopefully you guys can still see me. If you can still see me, comment below because it just told me that I have a weak signal, so I'm hoping I'm still alive. If not, comment, well, either way, comment down below. Sammy, if you're still on here, tell me if I'm still alive. If not, I might just be here all by myself. So we're just cooking this until everything is soft. The carrots are soft and the rice ends up being soft in the process. So I just take a little grain of rice on out. Oh, good, I'm still alive. Yay, okay. So I just take a grain of rice and I just kind of smush it with my finger and it still kind of snaps. So we're not to a point yet where I'd want to eat that. We want it to be a little softer than that. So I'm so glad I'm still alive. Oh, I don't know. My phone was doing this before when I did lives in town and it was just spooky. So anyway, it's probably all that talk about raw milk. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of cornstarch on my end. Like I said, I have double the amount you guys have over there. So just see what you've got. We're going for a really thick consistency on the milk. Whisk it in and then watch the magic, okay? So. You could also start this like I do most of my gravies, which is you put, coming in fine next week, can you tell us how to make Jeremiah's birthday dinner? Oh yeah, he's got so many favorites. Oh my gosh. The poor guy. Every winter he grows out of his pants. But then he works really hard in the summer, so then he grows back into them. So we just have 2 different sizes of pants. We have winter pants and summer pants for Jeremiah. He's going to kill me if he watches this. Good thing he doesn't watch. All right. I'm still whisking here. And I wish you guys had like feel-o-vision because on the bottom, I can just start to feel cornstarch sticking to the bottom. So I'm just going to keep on whisking like crazy. Jeremiah likes my barbecue meatballs. Those are one of his favorites. Jeremiah likes it when I barbecue steak. Let's see what else. He pretty much likes everything I make unless it has butternut squash in it. Okay, I'm adding another tablespoon on my end, but you might not need it on your end. You guys have half of the amount, remember. Let's see, what else is... I don't know, he likes bread. He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. He likes my chili. Obviously, he likes that cheeseburger soup. So that's pretty good. Let's see, what else does Jeremiah like? I can tell you what he doesn't like. He doesn't like kefir. He prefers not to eat sauerkraut, but he does. What else does he not like? Butternut squash. Oh, he doesn't like onions. He likes the flavor of them, but not the raw crunch. So I have to be really, really careful when I make meals with onions in them. Because I love, like, taking an onion and having, like, huge slices of onion. Like, what is that? Oh, flour. Huge slices inside my soups and stuff, or, like, my stir fries. And he just, like, pushes the onions to the side. Doesn't matter if they are soft or not. He's not having any of it. Okay, so, let's see how can I angle that. We are up to a simmer over here. Probably going to turn this down so that I'm not burning it. Turn it down to medium. Okay, I'm going to add a little more cornstarch on my end. You guys probably have added enough cornstarch, though. I'm going to just take a gander at that, saying that that's probably what's happened on your end. Like I said, I have double over here, so... We are going for a really thick consistency because what's going to end up happening is we're going to pour it into the soup that already has broth. And so you want it to thicken up all of it. As long as it's steaming, which you guys can see there's active steam coming off it, you are able to read that cornstarch well as to whether or not you need to continue adding or not. I usually let it bubble for, I don't know, 30 seconds and then stir it and then, or whisk it and then decide what I'm going to do. Am I adding more or am I not? This is like a thick gravy consistency. Whoops. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but thick gravy. And then we should be good. And we're going to add some salt. Salt brings so much flavor to meals. That's why they stick it in everything. And if you, there we go. And then if you use the right kind of salt that's colored, like this is pink Himalayan salt. It's got, and sea salt, sea salt has tons of minerals in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this. It might splatter up on the camera, but here we go. Okay, see how the bubbles, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but see how they're like really bubbling? It's like a solid bubble that might splatter all over your kitchen. That's what we're looking for. Hopefully you can see that. So this is done. I'm going to remove it from the heat. And we are going to add a whole teaspoon of salt. The best, most delicious salt that I ever tasted is Full Circle. Pink Himalayan salt. They sell it at Hy-Vee here. I don't know about all over the country or world even. Okay, so salt's in there. We're whisking it. Okay. I'm going to double check on our stuff on the other burner. Here's a quick tip. Take your little whisk and go rinse it off right away. Oh, it gets set up and nasty for your dishes. So. Same thing with this pan. Once the pan is empty, I would at least go put hot water in it. Okay, so we're going to check on this here. Let's see. So this is really cooked down. Let's see if I can show it to you without fogging you guys out. I don't know if you can. Basically, the ingredients are right at the top level with the broth at this point. It's no longer swimming. That's what we want. Okay. So let's test the rice and really the carrots. Carrot. Rice. Okay. My rice is done. Carrot, let's find out. So when I kind of squeezed it, oh yeah, these are nice and soft. See, fork goes right in. Okay. And my rice, I just took it between my two nails and squeezed it, and if it gives easily, when there's no crunch there, it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my burner. Dump in this yumminess here. Now, see, this is what I was talking about at the bottom of the pan. See how it's just starting to turn brown? And do you remember when I was whisking it, I said I'm just starting to be able to feel the cornstarch on the bottom of the pan? That's what I was feeling. So we were right there, maybe a little bit too high on the heat, but it ended up working out anyway. I'm going to go put hot water in this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're just going to stir, and I'll show you guys the deliciousness. Oh my word. All right, there it is, guys. Delicious. Delicious and pretty. All right, so I'm just going to mention one more time what I talked about. If you guys were not here in the first 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to want to go back and watch the replay, because I talked about Mason Tops having a sale on their fermentation kit, and I gave you the website to put in order to get 10% off plus free shipping. So that's a really good deal if you're looking to make your own sauerkraut or fermented vegetables. This is a really good deal. The other thing I talked about was my chopper. I just so happened to come across an ad on YouTube, of all places, I'm selling the original chopper that I was given by my husband 15 years ago when we got married. This is not it. This is a cheap Chinese knockoff. But anyway, and in the beginning of this video, I read off the website to go to and the phone number to order yourself one. They're only $30, and you can add for an extra $10 a lifetime guarantee on all parts. They will replace them without question. All you have to do is email them a picture of the broken part, and they will ship it to you. So that is the big news, the big announcements. If you guys were not here in the beginning of the video, go back and rewatch the replay. It should be available in about 30 minutes. Usually doesn't take that long for me to upload it. And that's it. So, hope you guys enjoy dinner. Oh, I know, next week we're going to be making lentil soup. So I figured I'd talk about that because some of you guys can get on getting the ingredients and getting stuff soaking. So obviously if we're going to make lentil soup, you're going to need some lentils. You can use brown or green. I think I might use brown. I don't remember what I have inside the cabinet, so I know I had some green and some brown, so I'll surprise you guys next week. But you're going to take 2 pounds of those. This makes a huge, huge batch, you guys. This is like 3, maybe 4 meals for my family. So if you want a smaller batch, you're going to want to take this and divide it by at least 3. So, but for a big, big batch, 2 pounds of lentils. So I usually weigh those out, put them in a glass jar, go ahead and submerge them in filtered water, apple cider vinegar, soak them just like you would a bean. If you don't know how to do that, I do have a video on how to ferment beans. It's right here on the channel. The other things we're going to need is butter, onions, if you're making a big batch, 2 onions, 10 cloves of garlic, 1 bunch of celery, 5 chopped carrots, 42 ounces of diced tomatoes. Now, like I said, this is for a huge batch, so if it's just you and your husband, Judy, you're going to want a lot less than this, okay? Maybe even divide it by 4. That's perfectly fine. 4 medium potatoes, or if you're trying to keep your carbs low, you could use rutabagas. Those are really good in this. 1 gallon of broth. I told you this is a huge recipe. 8 teaspoons of paprika, 4 teaspoons of cumin, 3 teaspoons of thyme, 1.5 tablespoons of sea salt. Those are all the ingredients, you guys, and I will put in another video maybe this weekend, just for everybody else who isn't going to watch this that maybe wants to make it so that you guys can grab the ingredients. So that's all there is to it. Where there's supposed to be peas in the soup, I wrote down the ingredients. Oh, maybe there is. I don't have peas, but maybe there was supposed to be peas. Add them. It's okay. Throw them in there. Maybe I said peas. I don't know. I don't have it written down on my recipe, but I mean, they would be good in there. So if you have peas, throw them on in. If they're frozen, they'll cook while it's this hot. They'll be done cooking in a few minutes. So anyway, does anyone else have any other questions? If you do, I'll hang out. You can comment. We'll get it answered. Otherwise, I will be posting some more videos. It's sounding like this weekend because I'll be making all those goodies for Jeremiah's birthday. If not, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining me. It was great. We had more people tonight than we have in a long time. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. We're trying to grow the channel. And we'll have a giveaway here soon. So anyway, all right. Well, thanks for joining. Enjoy your dinner. Dinner is served, guys. I hope you guys learned something new tonight. Have a good night. See you guys in the next one.